It's been a year since that night, yet the memories remain sharp, etched into my mind like scars on a restless heart. I used to work the night shift at a lonely roadside motel, 40 empty rooms lining long corridors, a persistent hum of machinery, and the murmur of a vending machine that barely disturbed the silence. The motel was a place of routine, a haven for the night, until one fateful evening shattered its comfortable mundanity. I remember it clearly. It was around 11 p.m. when he arrived. He was a tall, gaunt figure slouched at the motel's entrance, sporting a worn baseball cap, and carrying nothing more than a battered backpack. His presence was unassuming, almost ordinary in an eerie way. I swiped his card with practiced indifference, hearing the key for room 214 click into life. But when my system later cleared the record, the room remained vacant. There was no payment on file, no check-in log, only a ghostly absence among the buzzing routine. That's when I looked up, startled. There, in the dim glow of the lobby's scant lighting, he sat. The television had long been switched off, and the only illumination came from flickering overhead bulbs casting long, quivering shadows. He wasn't watching anything. He was simply there, seated motionless, his eyes fixed into the distance, as if waiting for an event only he could foresee. The atmosphere shifted instantly. What began as a routine shift was now permeated by an unsettling dread. In the first act of that night, reality and the supernatural blurred. The clock was ticking slowly, each second weighted with uncertainty. The silence of the empty corridors was pierced only by my cautious footsteps as I made my rounds. In the recesses of the motel's hallways, whispers of wind and the hum of an ancient building conspired to create a sense of isolation, much like the isolation felt by every night shift worker who endures endless hours in a world at odds with time. I occasionally recalled the research, how working nights disrupts our natural rhythm, leaving bodies and minds in constant battle with sleep, anxiety, and loneliness. In that moment, the chill of solitude deepened, manifesting as something far more sinister. As hours slipped by, I began to sense that there was more to that mysterious visitor than a mere anomaly on the guest log. Around 2 a.m., I finally convinced myself that he had vanished, as silence enveloped the lobby. But a single glance at the hallway monitor froze me in place, a flicker of movement, an indistinct shape casting a long, distorted shadow near the bathrooms. The figure stood almost imperceptibly, as if half hidden by darkness, its stillness a disturbing mimicry of lifeless routine. I moved closer, compelled by a mix of dread and inexplicable curiosity. In that charged moment, confrontation was inevitable. I approached him, heart pounding in a rhythm that both terrified and fascinated me. When we finally exchanged a few quiet words, his smile was unnerving, a slow, deliberate shift of lips that never quite reached his eyes. Softly, almost mockingly, he said, "You always check the back door at 2. The comment, delivered in a hushed tone, sent ice through my veins. There was an intimacy in his words that revealed my deepest routines, a secret detail shared only by those who haunted the shadows of a forgotten path. A cold realization swept over me. He knew every part of me, my schedule, my habits, even the way I paused as if speaking to unseen forces. It was as if I had become the unwitting subject of an otherworldly obsession. The encounter escalated the underlying conflict. The night, once merely quiet and unthreatening, transformed into a stage for a confrontation between the known and the inexplicable. I found myself caught in a chilling dance of reality and terror, where the obvious and the hidden wove a tapestry of dread. In the hours that followed, as tension mounted and the dim lighting played tricks on my eyes, the motel felt both hauntingly alive and solemnly abandoned. I started noticing details that slipped past the casual observer. The incessant sway of a flickering bulb, the sudden creak of a distant door, and the inexplicable presence that lurked in mirrors and dark corners. I began piecing together accounts that mirrored my experience. Solitary night shifts filled with quiet disquiet, strange sounds from empty rooms, and glimpses of a figure inexplicably interwoven with my world. It was as if the motel itself had absorbed every secret, every whispered terror, every sleepless moment into its very foundation. Between the minutes and hours, memory and reality blended into an unsettling chronology. My heart pounded as I recalled the moment the police arrived. They combed through the evidence. A car parked in the shadows behind the motel, its interior littered with pages of handwritten notes. Each page was a mosaic of my life, my name scattered across one sheet so many times that it blurred into scratches, details of every shift, every solitary hour I spent ensnared in that world. It was a haunting validation. The night had become more than a figment of restless fantasies. It was an encounter with something that defied explanation. For those of us who work nights, the darkness is not merely an absence of light. It is a world of its own, wrapped in secrets and peril. Studies remind us that the relentless schedule of a night shift disrupts our biological clocks, inflicting insomnia and deep-rooted anxiety. That pervasive isolation, as work and solitude follow one another in endless cycles, creates fertile ground for the supernatural. As an employee on that eerie shift, my every heartbeat seemed to echo through the empty hallways, reminding me that isolation can breed unusual and inexplicable realities. Each moment became a slow, deliberate unveiling of something terrifying. As the night deepened, the motel transformed into an uncanny realm where routine was subverted by silent invaders of the mind. The flickering lights danced with ghostly precision against peeling wallpaper, while the quiet hum of the vending machine was the only witness to the mounting dread. I moved through the corridors like a reluctant explorer, forced to confront the strange events that singled me out from the normalcy of everyday life. In one particularly heart-stopping moment, I recalled, a scene both mundane and surreal, the moment I caught sight of him again. I was checking the door at my routine hour, a habitual act honed by repetitive shifts, when I noticed a subtle movement at the back hallway. There, brief as a shadow slipping between darkened spaces, he reappeared. His still presence and the unnerving twinkle in his eyes, so cold, so detached, reminded me that this encounter was not random. Every detail was meticulously orchestrated, every minute of the night paved with intentional mystery. The intensity of the events built steadily, each revelation adding layers of complexity to an already baffling situation. I found solace in the simple explanations offered by scientific research, the biological disruptions caused by night shifts, the insomnia, and the social isolation. And yet, here in the dead hours of the night, logic and data melted away beneath the weight of inexplicable horror. It was as if my mind, desperate for a rational explanation, had been forced to reconcile with the reality that something beyond human understanding had intruded upon my life. The final act of that mysterious night arrived with a twist that defied the laws of nature. I confronted him once more in the sparsely lit lobby, where the thin line between the physical and the spectral blurred into uncertainty. His eyes, dark and unfathomable, locked onto mine, and in that silent, perilous exchange he spoke again, a mere whisper floating in the stale air, hinting at secrets too vast to be contained within a single night's shift. His words, sparse yet laden with sinister certainty, challenged everything I thought I knew about reality. In that moment, the motel itself seemed to breathe a malicious secret. Every shadow, every flicker of light bore the imprint of a presence not entirely human. I felt the weight of an unseen observer, a being whose intentions were wrapped in a shroud of malevolence and mystery. The encounter left me questioning not only the stability of my existence, but also the intangible boundary between the living and the dead. The visitor's chilling grin, a smile that was less human and more a cryptic omen, was a final echo of that night's unresolved terror. The police investigation, which followed in the uncertain hours after, did little to ease the overwhelming sense of dread. Their discovery of cryptic notes, their silent exchange of glances, all confirmed the impossible, that a stray visitor had imprinted his essence on my life, turning a routine shift into a living nightmare. My name, repeated over and over until it blurred into incoherent scratches, was a constant reminder that the past refuses to be forgotten. Every detail of that night was etched into the motel's decaying walls, a testament to the presence that lingered in its corridors long after the visitor had seemingly departed. Since that fateful encounter, my life has been marked by a quiet, persistent anxiety. I left that motel behind, relocating miles away, attempting to fill the void with normalcy and daylight. Yet even now, as I drive home along empty roads in the pre-dawn hours, a nagging sensation clings to me. Every time headlights seem to follow my car for too long, or when the familiar chime of a gas station's door signals a brief moment of respite, I can't help but wonder, was it truly over? Or was that mysterious visitor, that specter of the night, still with me, quietly observing from the darkness? In a way, the experience has reshaped my understanding of the night. The darkness is no longer a time for rest, but a canvas upon which the unseen paints its ominous stories. It is a realm that challenges our expectations, an unavoidable reminder that some encounters cannot be relegated to the realms of dreams and paranoia. Instead, they persist as living memories that haunt each step and shadow. That lingering sense of unease has stayed with me for months, a subtle yet pervasive presence that manifests in everyday moments. I find myself frequently scanning dark corners, my eyes catching hints of something that should not be there. The ghostly figure from behind the desk, the oddly placed reflections in a shop window, even the solitary shape of a person standing too close to the threshold of my vision on a lonely road. All these moments add up to a mystery without resolution. The motel, with its empty rooms and inexplicable events, became a stage for my deepest fears and the unsettling reality of the supernatural. I now understand that the terror of the night is not limited to the physical, but resides in the quiet spaces between heartbeats and memories. And so, as I conclude this recounting, I leave you with a question that has haunted me ever since that evening. What if the quiet of the night shift isn't as empty as it seems? In the dim corridors of a roadside motel, amid flickering lights and silent walls, there exists a realm of persistent mystery, an inexplicable presence that quietly revisits life's mundane routines. It challenges the certainty of our waking hours and redefines normalcy with a single, soul-piercing encounter. If you've ever felt the eerie stillness of the night, share your own experiences in the comments below. Let's uncover the mysteries together.